What's going on, my winjas? This is your girl Maya, and so many of you guys have asked me about shoulder mobility because you are all tight up in here and you're probably struggling with overhead pressing movements. You're probably really having a hard time in crab position. So in this video, I'm going to break down a few exercises that you can incorporate into your routine to get bulletproof, sexy, flexy shoulders. Ooh. Before we get into the exercises, let's assess. Let's assess where your shoulder mobility is, because how do you know you're improving if you don't really know if you're improving? So I got a really simple assessment trick for you. You want to do it in a tall kneeling position. You can certainly do it standing. I like kneeling because it helps me to contract my core and keep myself engaged and grounded a bit more. So we're going to be testing internal rotation as well as external rotation. So you want to measure your palm from the base of the hand to the tip of the longest finger. And then without arching your back, so make sure your rib cage is zipped up tight, your pelvis is posteriorly tilted, so the pelvic bone goes underneath you. And then without fighting it too much, you just want to have one arm go up and one arm come from under and one arm come from upper. So, and then you want to measure this distance in between the two fists. So obviously it would help to have someone here to measure it for you. And I'll show you what the other side looks like. Ooh, so don't fight it, don't arch the back, that's cheating. Go ahead and assess yourself and measure the distance. The goal is to have that distance be about palm size. That is a 3 out of 3 in the functional movement scale. That is a gold star from me. So if you have both movements as a palm distance, you're killing it. But most of us are probably at a palm and a half and maybe even a double palm. So this is just an assessment. It gives us awareness. Plus, as you incorporate more mobility and more crabbing in your routine, you're probably gonna be like, oh, okay, it's improving. So I love assessing and knowing my body because then I can see and I can celebrate all the little wins that I have throughout. Before we get into anything crazy, we wanna make sure we mobilize and bring blood and fluids and synovial goods, nutrients, oxygen to the joints first. So rib cage tucked in, butt tucked in, we're gonna do arm circles. So the goal of this is to tire out the traps because also often we're so like forward trap loaded. So when we do some arm circles, we get to bring all the nutrients in, plus we get to tire out the traps so then we can really focus on improving the shoulder mobility in the joints. Now, the next few exercises, you're gonna see me incorporating not just the shoulder joint because there's so much more involved than just the shoulder joint when it comes to shoulder mobility. And that includes the actual shoulder girdle, so where the shoulder attaches to the shoulder blades. You cannot address shoulder mobility without talking about the shoulder blades, as well as the thoracic spine. It's all connected, because you see how when you were doing your assessment, you instantly wanted to arch your back, and how people, when they're doing overhead presses, they are compensating by arching their back. And so that's why we gotta discuss T-spine mobility, including shoulder girdle mobility, as well as the actual shoulder joint itself. So, stay with me. You're gonna learn a lot and you're gonna get major benefits, but from doing just some really simple exercises that don't require any equipment at all. So, all right, we got arm circles, go for about a minute, and then I'm gonna do some shoulder rotation. So get yourself in that tall kneeling position, have your arms palm facing up, and then pretend someone is arm barring you, like, right? Bad boy style. And you're gonna twist that shoulder, twist the palm up, and this is really gonna help with that, getting that shoulder joint all lubricating into that internal rotation business. So let's twist down while we raise up. Twist down, raise up. Give me a minute of these. So you're gonna feel this. Oh, it's gonna feel so good. And already, it's gonna bring awareness to that shoulder blade and into that T-spine. So the next exercise I want you to do is the good old downward dog. I love this movement because it is super easy to do. Plus, you're hitting lat stretching. You're gonna get stretching of the lats. You're gonna get stretching of the external rotation of the shoulder joint. Plus, you're gonna be flexing or stretching through the thoracic spine as well. So it's like 3 in 1. Holla. To do the downward dog, oh, and you get crazy hamstring flexibility. If you can put your feet on the ground, boom, you're gonna feel it all through your leg. And then I want you to have your head planted as much as you can in between your arms, keeping the rib cage in, and go ahead and lean back. So I like to make it a little bit more advanced by stepping my feet back a little bit more, allowing myself to have more range, and allowing my head to go in between my arms a lot more. So how it would look is you can start in a high plank, activate plank sequence, and then push yourself back. Woo! You're gonna feel this through your spine, through your shoulders, and instant opening of the shoulder joints. So super easy. Do those. Give me about 10 reps of those, 2 to 3 sets, and you're gonna be feeling so much better. Another one is the good old shoulder cars. So controlled articulation rotation. All right, so how you do it is tall kneeling position, top, activated, shoulders back. So what you're gonna create with your own body and your mind is tension. So what we're gonna be doing is you're gonna squeeze your fist hard. You're gonna create tension in your body and you're gonna draw with control. Bring your shoulder up, up. See how my body is not arching? Gonna go up, up, up. I'm creating tension. I'm irradiating the tension through my body. And as you cannot go any further, when you hit your range, start twisting the fist and going to the back. Now, right about here, your body's gonna wanna arch. It's gonna wanna compensate. Fight that, okay? I like to have my hands on my ribs to make sure I'm activated and I'm not arching and then I'm not cheating. And I'm gonna go around and around. Right now, I'm retracting my shoulder blades together to prevent this arm from flailing out. Bringing it together, down, down, fists towards the other side of the room. This is hard. You're doing it right when you're shaking and when you can feel it all through your elbow, your triceps, because you're creating that tension yourself. So watch how I reverse it. Create the tension, reverse, 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 reverse. And then start the rotation. Don't lose that tension. And all the way down. Take your time. I did it really fast. You want to make sure you go even 10-15 seconds. Try 3 reps per side and create that tension in your body, creating this whole, make it hard on yourself, okay? Now, a lot of you have problems with external rotation, so how our arm goes up and back, because that's due to a lack of spinal mobility too. But you can easily do shoulder dislocations. So you can grab a broomstick, a dowel, or even a towel, and tall kneeling position. And I'm just gonna, not allowing my back to arch, gonna engage through the abs, and I'm gonna allow myself to go into an external rotation here. So you go to where you feel comfortable. You don't wanna push this. So we're doing it, everything that we're doing is pretty much gonna be dynamic because it's teaching us that it's okay. A lot of the times if you're having pain and your body starts freaking out when you're exercising, it's because it doesn't think that you can handle that range. So that's why I love mobility training, because it's teaching our body, yo dude, it's okay. You're gonna be safe, you can handle this, and that's why we do it dynamically, right? And we do this type of movement before you lift. Spend even just 5 minutes doing dynamic shoulder movements. Before you add load, your body is gonna feel safe, feel comfortable, and not react in that like tensing, painful way, which a lot of us get. So 5 minutes of mobility a day goes a long way. Now, once you get good at that, you can go into full dislocation. Do not let that back arch. Keep that pelvis tucked in underneath you. Give me 10 to 15 of these, 2 to 3 sets if you feel comfortable. Booyah! Now, so far we've covered a lot of external rotation in the shoulder joints. We've covered some T-spine stuff. Let's get into the shoulder blades because the shoulder girdle is so much involved in the shoulder mobility itself. So I want you in the quadruped position on your hands and knees, stacking the knees underneath the hips and the wrists underneath the shoulder. And we're gonna go into protraction. So round that shoulder blade up into the sky and then retraction, pushing it down. So this is the good old cat and camel yoga pose. I absolutely love it because it starts teaching you how to move your shoulder girdle. Plus, it gives you mindfulness and mobility of the thoracic spine as well, which we need both, right? For optimal shoulder mobility movements. So you got, love these. Now, and a more advanced version is to really isolate the scapula, the shoulder blades, by doing some circles. So this is gonna take a little bit of practice. Even I don't even know if I'm doing it right, but I'm gonna start doing shoulder rolls with my shoulder blades. So right now I'm going clockwise. I'm just pushing my shoulder blades in and then up, in and then up. Now see if you can reverse it. So reversing it feels extra weird. Just start getting really comfortable with the way your shoulder moves. So you can go up and down in circles. Do a couple of those. So scapular shoulder rolls. Now, a lot of us struggle with the internal rotation, so when the arm goes back and under. So for this, you can go in the tall kneeling position, clasp your hand behind you, and go ahead and allow yourself to stretch. This is the only real passive movement that we're going to be doing where we're just staying in a stretch, but it is really beneficial because the reason why your shoulders are tight is probably because your chest is tight, your pecs, because you're probably working at the desk, sitting all day, driving Miss Daisy around, right? So thus your shoulder gets all forward loaded. Now this simple exercise of just putting the hands behind us and pulling back opens up the chest, stretches the pectoralis muscles, and is giving us that extra internal rotation help that we need. Just make sure you're not arching at the spine. So hold for about 30 seconds to 1 minute. Repeat 2 to 3 times if you feel comfortable. Now, last one we're gonna get into is the dead bug position. So you're gonna lay on the ground. You're gonna have your feet, your knees bent, and then push your lower back into the ground. So flat back, engage, zip up the rib cage, stabilize through the core, and then we're gonna draw angels with our arms. So just like we do on the wall with wall angels, we're gonna do it on the ground here. And I like doing it on the ground because we're taking away the spinal dysfunction that most of us have on the wall. We instantly arch our back. Here, fight to have that back completely flat and then just go up and down. Create that tension in your body. Up, pull your elbow into your body. You're gonna feel this everywhere. You're gonna feel this all through the back, your back, upper back muscles, plus through your shoulder joint. So that's that one. And then I have one more, I forgot about this one. This is the swimmer's hover, and it's very advanced, and it requires a lot of T-spine mobility, the thoracic spine, including the shoulder spine, and we're activating through the scapula as well, the shoulder blade, so the big three. Here we go. You're gonna lay on your stomach, eyes down, forehead down. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna put your hand behind your head like you're getting arrested. And then you're gonna raise your elbow up, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Elbow up. Don't let your head come off. And this is all you're gonna do. And then you're gonna go up. Make an I, hand straight forward. Make a Y. Go down to a T. Remembering to try to retract the shoulder blades each time, touching that pencil that's in the imaginary shoulder blade joint. And then reverse the palm up and try to touch it together. And hold. Oh, external rotation plus T-spine being activated. Okay, and now let's reverse. Take your time through this. Create that tension. Out, flip, up, hover, hover, keep the head down, go back to I. I'm trying to pull my hands forward as much as I can as I'm pushing my toes back as far as I can. And now, get back into here. When you get your hand back into the back of your head, raise that elbow up as much as you can and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Oh my goodness. Damn, I dare you to do that swimmer's hover. Go for 3 reps, fully in tension, fully mindful of the movement, and see how you feel. So that is your shoulder mobility video. Let me know how that goes. Let me know how your shoulder assessment went. What was your measurement? Are you a palm? Are you longer than a palm? And do you have imbalances? A lot of us have imbalances, especially if you had a previous injury. And I know how horrible a shoulder injury is. I injured my shoulder a long time ago before I started learning and teaching because I was dumb, right? I was overtraining. I was doing too many push exercises. I wasn't doing enough pulling. And so I actually hurt my shoulder. And I know how frustrating it could be. Any type of injury is so difficult mentally, physically, and this joint is so mobile and it gets so often injured and it takes months, if not years, to fully recover. And all it takes is some preventative measures such as 5 minutes mobility and being mindful of your movement and making sure you have a balanced program to help prevent it, okay? So drop me a comment, let me know how you did. I would love it if you subscribe to the channel. I love hearing from you guys, and you can also check me out on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. Everything is under Move with Maya, and I'll catch you next time.